welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name's Avery. I'm so glad that you're here. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my May TBR with you guys. I am really excited for some of the picks that I chose this month. Hopefully I get around to reading all of them. Whenever I choose a TBR, I usually don't stick to it, let's be honest, but I have a great variety of different genres. I got some romance, I got some self-help books, I have some fantasy, of course. I'm just really excited for this month. Of course, I have some summer books on my TBR this month because summertime is coming. I mean, it practically is already here in Arizona, let's be honest. Yeah, there's not really too much to say, but let's just get into it. And I kind of have a little summary of each book that I'll also be talking about with you guys so that you know what I'm reading as well as I do. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this TBR is more of my personal TBR. It's not books that I'm going to be reading for videos, although I do believe one of them is, but I would have read it this month anyway just because I've been putting it off for way too long. But I will get into that in a second. I'll tell you guys about the books that I'm hoping to read, and let me know if you've read any of these books too in the comments, because I'd love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and we can just have, you know, some little book besties discussions before I read these books. And who knows, maybe I've already read a couple of these by the time this video comes out. We shall see. But I am very excited for the picks for this month because I don't know, this whole pile, hopefully you can't, I'm spoiling it. Hopefully you can't tell what the book titles are. This pile is just very aesthetic to me. I love the variety going on. But with that being said, let's just jump right into it. There's not too much to say. Okay, so here are the books that I'm hoping to read this month. These are all the books that are on my TBR. And like I said, I do have a couple that I'm going to be reading for videos also, but I don't want to spoil that with you guys besides one of them because I don't know, I would read it anyway. And I've actually already started it, so I just included it in this pile instead.
This is kind of heavy, low-key.
This is also a pretty ambitious amount for me because I am a slow reader. Even though I am a booktuber, I'm also a slow reader, and I just have to be honest. So yes, this amount plus the books that I'm hoping to read for videos is quite ambitious, but I think that we can do it because I'm in such a reading mood. I was in a massive reading slump for the first half of April, but now that it's May, I'm out of that reading slump, thank God, and I'm just in a reading mood. I literally read up until midnight last night and then read for 2 hours this morning. Then I'm going to read after this. So I am just very excited for this month. I have a really good feeling. Hopefully I love all of these books. We shall see. But without further ado, let's actually discuss. Okay, so for the first book that I'm hoping to read in May, this is The Summer of Broken Rules. Also, RIP to the little corner. I don't know what happened to it. It's so sad. Anyways, I got this book after seeing Haley Pham rave about it. She's one of my favorite booktubers, as well as Sarah Crowley. I think she liked it. I believe she gave it a 3 or 4 or something like that, but I know that Haley Pham really liked it, and I trust her opinions a lot, honestly. And the whole aesthetic, the summary just sounded super appealing to me. It's this family with this girl who actually recently lost her sister. It doesn't really give it too much on that in the summary on the back of the book. Lost either means they just can't find her or she's passed away. I'm not too sure. But basically their family goes on an annual trip to Martha's Vineyard every single year without fail, and that they are going there for a wedding as well as just their annual trip. And every single year they play this game called Assassin, and I believe that she teams up with one of the groomsmen or something like that. I'm pretty sure she's a bridesmaid. I haven't looked too deeply into this because I kind of wanted to be a surprise because I just love summer books so much, and I feel like going into it, I don't know, I just want to go into this book blind. I don't really have a reason why, I just do. And so that's pretty much all that I know about it. There's probably a little enemies to lovers just from the summary on the back. That's what it sounds like. I don't know, it just, even the cover is so summery, and I just love it. So I am very excited to read this. I think this might be the first book that I read this month just because I'm in a summer book mood. And then switching gears to a totally opposite genre is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I have not read this book, and honestly I don't really have a reason why, because this is one of the first thriller books that I've ever bought or picked up. It's been on my TBR for years now, but I just was never too much in a thriller mood. However, I'm really trying to get into thriller, especially during summertime, because I know that there are some great summer thriller books. I don't know if this is a summer one specifically, but I know that this is kind of everyone's introduction to thriller. It's super easy to read, fast paced, I've heard, good writing. So I just want to get into thriller more, and I feel like this would be a great little beginner book, especially since I've had it for so long on my TBR. I need to get to it pretty much. I don't really know what it's about, honestly. I probably should have like looked more into this before filming this video, but whatever. But I also feel like thrillers are one of those things that going in blind is also really fun. If you have any thriller recs, let me know in the comments. I do love Alice Feeney, and I've read a couple of thrillers that I really liked, but I've never been like a consistent thriller girl, and I want to get into them way more than I have. Remote Irish Island. They all have a secret, all have a motive, but only one is a murderer. I also have Lucy Foley's other book, The Paris Apartment, that I've heard is really good. But basically from what I've seen, this book just gets everyone into thrillers, and so that's kind of what I need as someone who hasn't dabbled in that genre too much. So I'm very excited for this. Again, I don't know what time of month I'll read this. I do want to wait till I'm in a thriller mood. I just know for sure that I want to start out the month with Martha's Vineyard. Just realized I've been calling that book Martha's Vineyard. This is not Martha's Vineyard. This is The Summer of Broken Rules. My apologies. I definitely want to get to this month or just sometime soon because I've had on my TBR for so long. It's like, what am I doing at this point, you know? Okay, and then this book I have picked up knowing that it would probably make me cry, but I have been in such a like, give me a book that will make me cry mood lately. I don't know why. Like, do I like pain? Am I a masochist? No. But do I like the pain that books give me in a twisted way? Yeah, like I kind of do, because they just make me feel. And you know, sometimes as a girl who has a hard time crying and getting her emotions out because it all just gets built up until I burst, these books help me kind of get my emotions out in a healthy way because I'm crying over fictional characters instead of crying about my life. So I am definitely very excited to read this. I've just had a lot of personal things going on, and I feel like a cry from a good book would kind of ease the pain happening in my life currently. So, I mean, in all honesty, like, life has been interesting lately, but that's why I'm very excited about this. Again, I don't know what it's about. I'm sensing a theme happen. Oh, you guys, I actually got this book from a bookstagrammer. I believe her username is XOJazzle, and I love her so much. She's like the sweetest. She sent this to me after I bought it off of her story. She even included cute little stickers after I bought it, so she's super sweet. Go follow her if you don't already. Like I was saying, I bought this from her, and so I need to read it, honestly. Like, why haven't I? I don't know, because I bought it from her like a year ago, but I'm just in the mood for it. Like, I think that's probably why I haven't read a lot of these books, is I wanted to do them justice and be in the mood for them. And because I'm in such a just give me all the books type mood, I think that I'll finally get to this month and hopefully love it. All right, now this is the book that I was talking about where I'm reading it for a video, but I also have already started it and would have read it regardless if I was filming that specific video, and that is Fourth Wing. Okay, now you're probably wondering what video I'm filming it for, but I'm gonna keep that as a little secret. I have actually already started Fourth Wing. I'm only a chapter in, literally, so there's not even a bookmark in it, but I don't have like any idea what's gonna happen pretty much, besides like, I definitely know the enemies to lovers between the two characters is going to happen just based off of like a couple lines from different characters. I know that sounds super vague and weird. I'm very excited for the enemies to lovers. This is a thick book though, so this might take up quite a bit of my month. I'm not sure, but I do know I would read this either way because I'm filming it for a video, so I kind of have to, and I also just want to. Now this book has dragons in it, okay, and if that doesn't entice you, let me give you like the little summary. Basically, we are following the main character. She's a daughter of the lieutenant. She's like a high up military ranking-esque type person at this university for dragon riders specifically, and the daughter is not a dragon rider. Well, she wasn't supposed to be originally. She was supposed to be a scribe. That's what she was training for. They train people for various different roles of things that are like needed in the society. So people that take care of books, letters, which are scribes, dragon riders, so that they coexist with the dragons, and instead of the dragons like trying to just eat them all or burn them to death. So it's a very, very interesting concept because this main girl, she was, like I said, supposed to be a scribe. Then she actually ends up taking this test that every person that goes to this university has to take in order to actually become like official in their position at the university and in life pretty much. She ends up having to do the test to become a dragon rider, and basically chaos ensues from there is what I'm gathering. She's supposed to stay away from the certain character because he hates her family, blah, blah, blah. We already know how that's probably going to go. It's probably going to be a little enemies to lovers type situation. I'm very excited though, because just from the first chapter, I really, really like it. The writing's really good. Like the world is super, super interesting, and I'm literally only a chapter in, but I'm really enjoying it. And I am very, very excited to finally read this and see what all the hype is about, and just like actually be able to say I read it. Like I read Fourth Wing, because people were getting tattoos of quotes and stuff from this book on them. So obviously it has to be really good. So I am very, very excited to read it. And once again, this book will be part of a video that's coming soon, And so just stay tuned for that. It'll be very, very exciting, hopefully. All right, and now we are getting to the end of the pile a little bit. So this is another fantasy. It's much smaller than Fourth Wing, which is kind of why I chose it. A, because I've been wanting to read it forever. It's been on my TBR for like a million years. But also because if I'm not into Fourth Wing, like this would be a great little fantasy to get me through the month, because I always need my fantasy fix, you know, like there can never be a month that goes by without at least one fantasy book. And so I chose this because it is a Greek mythology like retelling, but in a fantasy type setting with, it's called A Touch of Darkness, by the way, by Scarlett St. Clair, and I believe it's Hades and Persephone. Yes, so the romance takes place between Hades and Persephone, I believe, and Persephone is a Greek goddess, if you didn't know, and Hades is actually god of the underworld in like Greek mythology lore. Basically, she meets Hades in this casino after she's like run away from her old life due to a situation that we don't really know yet, because I haven't read the book, obviously, so I don't really know exactly what the situation is, but she ends up in a casino and she meets Hades, who is kind of like this gambling king god type person. Like he has made a lot of money and has a lot of power in the gambling world, especially at this casino. I believe it's his casino, and they meet up and basically they get into this contract, and the summary of the book doesn't exactly give specific details of what the contract entails, but they get into a contract together, and then we're kind of just following their story after that, is what I'm gathering. And I am very, very excited to read this because I've heard pretty much nothing but good things, especially from some of my favorite booktubers like Sarah Caroli. I know that she absolutely loved this. I'm pretty sure it was either this book or Kingdom of the Wicked. Actually, I don't really know. I probably shouldn't be saying that until I know, but I'm going to. So that will be for later me to figure out if this book is good or not. But I'm very, very excited just because it's short, but also I love Greek mythology, and so to have a fantasy retelling of some of my favorite stories is really, really exciting, and I cannot wait to read this. Now we have a little like self-care moment because, like I said, your girl is going through it, and so she could really use a book such as this, which is called Be Not Afraid of Love. So this book is actually kind of like a collection of essays and stories that have been put together. It's kind of like On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong is what I've heard this is similar to. And so I've read that book and I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm very excited, especially because I can really relate to a lot of the themes in this story. They are very personal to me, and I've heard nothing but good things about people that have experienced similar issues discussed in this book and have read it and they loved it. I know Read with Cindy really, really loved this book, and I love her, and I just feel like this book is kind of what I need right now, honestly. Because like when someone burns you, it's kind of hard to want to light a fire again and feel warmth. But this book, I believe it kind of like teaches you how to not be afraid of love, how to accept it and know when it's genuine, and realize that just because one person that may have loved you or you love them, they hurt you, doesn't mean that everyone else that you could love or could love you will do the same. And I just think that message is really, 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 it's just what I need right now, okay? Like on a serious note, I feel like this book could really make an impact on my life, specifically with everything going on in it, and I'm just really, really excited to read it. Hopefully I can get some like self-help, because you know your girl needs it. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. I definitely want to read this month. Like it's one of those things that even if I didn't want to read it, it's kind of like I need to read it. Yeah, so let's put this away and then we can talk about the last book on my May TBR. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Avery, how have you not read that yet? Like, what are you doing? You are a disgrace as a booktuber, as a person, as a reader. Like, what are you doing? And honestly, my only response is yes. Like, just yes. Because I agree. I am ashamed that I have not read Divine Royals yet. I don't really have a reason why, honestly. Actually, no, I do. I think it's just because of the massive hype surrounding it. I was scared it wouldn't live up to it and I wouldn't love it as much. But I feel like I need to kind of get over that fear of things not living up to the expectations I have in my head, because the only way to really know and find out if I like a book or not is to actually read it. And so that's what I'm hoping to do this month, because I love dark academia and I've heard that this is like the perfect dark academia book while also being fantasy. And I don't know if it's urban fantasy or just like regular or high fantasy, but I know that it's definitely considered a fantasy book, and dark academia, like, sign me up. Those are my two favorite things to read. So I am very, very excited about this. I know that it's enemies to lovers. I've heard amazing things about it. Even the cover is stunning. Like, everything about this book just sounds super, super intriguing to me. I also know it takes place at a boarding school. So like, how much more fun and exciting of a book can you get, in my opinion? Because I just love every single element that takes place in this book. And so I am very, very excited about it. But yeah, that is actually the last book on my May TBR besides the books that I'm going to be reading for videos. It is quite an ambitious TBR for my standards, but I'm honestly really optimistic that I could get through all of these, if not read even more, because I just I don't know. I have that reading spark back in me after getting out of my reading slump last month. I just feel like the reading flame has been reignited, you know? And that's a great feeling when that happens, because there are few things worse in life than a reading slump, especially whenever you have literally hundreds of books on your TBR that you have not read and you need to get to. And hopefully this video will literally make me accountable to actually read these books instead of putting them off, because I feel like whenever I tell other people I'm going to do something, it kind of makes me actually feel like I need to do it and want to do it more, because I put this weird pressure on myself that if I don't, I'll be a disappointment. It's a whole thing. Alright, this is a super chaotic little book stack. I definitely could have arranged these nicer, but I am lazy. This stack of books is getting quite heavy, and maybe I'm just weak. Maybe the books are heavy. We don't need to think about it too much. But I'm going to go now, and I love you guys so, so much. Remember to keep slaying. You got this. I believe in you. Even if life sucks, trust me, I get it. But we can do this together. I love you, besties, so, so much. And I will see you guys very, very soon with another video. Bye!